Hello there, it's your favorite Uncle Josh, and we are back with, part 3. What once was mine. What if Rapunzel's mother drank drank the potion from the wrong flower? So let's get into it. So here's the thing, because I got notes, so you might see me look down. So now we're at the part where Rapunzel's having to tell Gina and Flynn after they ran for their lives that, I kind of have murder hair, and they're like, what? Well, when I was younger, I accidentally spasmed out and killed my parents with my hair. So I was locked into a tower to keep people safe. They find that very weird and think that's a little excessive, but basically it is what it is. Finn later goes on and says, you can actually rule the world with your murder hair. Like, that's some pretty powerful stuff. And Gina's like, yeah, but Rapunzel really wants to find answers about her hair, so Gina does the next best thing, go see her mom. Not because her mom's a barber, but because her mom's a witch. Then there's that depressing part again that wears this ugly head about the girl that got the cancer. Yeah. So Gina comes and she brings her to go see her family. Well, her mother at least. Her mother is a witch that kind of lives in like a dark part of the woods. She makes sure that she stays that way. And Gina's witch of a mother is very intrigued by Rapunzel's hair. Rapunzel tries to tell her not to touch it, but she doesn't listen. And for some reason, Rapunzel is constantly getting offended by the term princess. Like, okay, princess, I'm not a princess. It's like, dear, it's really not that big of a deal that he calls you a princess, but something in her, something just ingrained in her body. It's just like DNA'd, stitched in there to scream, I'm not a princess, and to reject that princess title. She's been doing that this entire book. Yes, I understand why Flynn's doing it, like, okay, princess, how you tell like those high maintenance people, but she's really like, I'm not like, I understand also where she's coming from, because she's been locked in a tower. Not too many princesses have, but if you're like, Rapunzel, you kind of have. But then the witch was like, yes, you are. You're the king and queen's daughter. Rapunzel hears the real story of how she got to be where she was, and how her mom drank the Moondrop flower, and how it gave her murderous powers. Like I said, somebody mess with me, I'll take this bun, I'll just toss my hair on them. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Then Rapunzel fell asleep, woke up, and had a conversation with Flynn. After that conversation, the goodwife came and told her that she needs to go to the circle to have a better understanding of her powers. But before she left, that woman undid her hair, took out all the charms, and said, girl, let the hair flow. Let it flow. You know how Elsa had let it go? You need to let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. My murderous hair hasn't stopped me anyway. Matter of fact, let it flow. Let it flow. The world hasn't stopped me anyway. Rapunzel ends up going to the circle, and then she ends up noticing that in the middle of it, all the flowers around her actually making shapes of constellations. She then ends up standing there, and next thing you know, her hair starts glowing, and she realizes that she was able to transform her lizard into a small dragon, which lets her know her hair isn't all murderous. Y'all, if I had murder hair, you know how many times I throw that on people? Feel bold and touch my hair without my permission if you so want to. That was y'all fault, not mine, that she went on home to glory, not me. Rapunzel then comes back and realizes that, her hair is not murderous, but only on certain days, and that depending on the constellation and the time of the moon, because it's the Moondrop flower, that it does different things at different times. Depressing part about the girl that has cancer. Brainstorming. Rapunzel realizes that Flynn in this conversation that came up was trying to manipulate her, so she gave him the crown and called him the worst. Flynn don't realize what he lost, but he will eventually. They'll eventually get together at the end. He's just so obsessed with himself because he was an orphan that kind of gotta do what you gotta do to survive. It's not always the best, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Thank you for joining me for part 3. Like, comment, subscribe, share, come back.